You don't need to have an expert eye to know what you see before you hear is a Labyrinth pinball machine from Barrels of Fun. Now, I'm a bit late to the party in reviewing this game because it's been out for the best part of a year and a half. And I'm going to do this review slightly differently to the way I would do a lot of the others. Because I'm going to start this review by telling you what's wrong with this game. Then we're going to get onto the other stuff in the second part of the video. Because there's a significant number of glitches with this pinball machine, which is Barrels of Fun's first offering. And I know Barrels of Fun themselves would admit that they found this to be a big learning experience, and having also played June, I can tell you now that the improvement from this game up to June is significant. But there's a few things I think I need to explain before we go into any detail on this game. For some reason, this game, and this film, should I say, Labyrinth, had completely escaped me. Even though I love David Bowie, I've got 3 David Bowie albums, I never watched the film when it was out. Which is strange because I love Jim Henson, I used to watch the Muppets, it was released at a time when I should have been watching it. I watched The Dark Crystal, for instance, but I never actually watched this. Well, not until this game was released, because when this game was announced, it transpired that it was something of a dream theme for a lot of people. There's a lot of people very, very excited about Labyrinth, so I thought, I'm going to have to go and watch it now. So I did. I sat down with my then 9-year-old daughter. We sat down in this very room and we watched Labyrinth. Despite the Jim Henson puppets, despite David Bowie featuring in it, despite some quite catchy songs, I thought it was rubbish. I possibly would have felt differently had I have watched it as a child, but I didn't. I watched it as a 49-year-old man at the time, and I wasn't impressed. But let's be honest, a lot of the stuff that you watch back doesn't always age particularly well. I used to enjoy Star Trek Voyager. I'm quite sure if I watched it now, it would look pretty dated. So I was relieved in many respects because there was nothing for me within the theme. I didn't feel the urge to go and try and test this machine, which is in stark contrast to June, which is very much a dream theme for me, having read the Frank Herbert books when I was younger, having enjoyed the more recent incarnations of the movies. That's very much a theme for me. This isn't. I could take it, I could leave it. Then when the game was released, you started to read about the issues online. First of all, it was brutal. Everybody said this game is really, really hard. I'm not a great player, far from it. I would say I'm an intermediate player, and certainly a tough game, a game that's hard, is not something that necessarily appeals to me. So there was no allure for the theme, and there was no real drive for me to try and play the game. The first time I ever played it was at the Expo. So it was very, very busy, a conference centre. I had one game on it, was very noisy, very brightly lit, very loud. And also at the same convention was Pulp Fiction and Jaws. And that was really the first time I'd played them. And also at that we also had Elton John, which I'd had in this house first. So there were some really, really big hitting games there, some very good games. And actually all of those 3 games, Pulp Fiction, Jaws and Elton John, I've been lucky enough to have them here in this house, and I will actually have 2 of those games, and I think they're all magnificent. So this, if you want, was going to always have to be, at best, a slow burner. So we fast forward to now, and now I've got my hands on one of these games, and I can really give it the once-over. I think it's fair to say that the game has had long enough for...
Where's the girl? What girl? You know, the girl. Oh, that girl. She's already been through it once. Why would she go through that again?
Well, before I was interrupted by what should be a magnificent topper, I was about to say we've had long enough for Barrels of Fun to have ironed out a lot of the glitches on this game, and I'm sure they have. But the timing was perfect there because you've just seen one of them, and that is that this topper on this machine is not working. The eyes light up, or at least sometimes they do. The 2 heads either side of this main dude here, they're meant to turn when they speak. They don't turn. that's the least of my problems. I still think sitting atop of there, it looks really, really cool. And by the way, this is a really cool looking machine, but we'll get to that later on in the video. There will be some gameplay later on, and I will be giving you a close-up of this game and showing you the playfield. First of all, this game is tough. It's clunky, really clunky, bricky, clunky. There's a lot of shots on this that fall between the margins. This game has pretty much no flow at all. If you're going to start playing this game and constantly trying to hit the ball on the fly, you're likely to fail. You're going to need to know when to trap up. You're going to have at least some sort of pinball skills. You're going to need to be able to drop catch. You're probably going to need to be able to bounce pass and get the ball under some level of control. It's pretty bricky. The flippers, whilst they feel good, the flippers are subject to a large degree of flipper fade, which means the game you end up playing after a long session on the game is very, very different to the game you start playing at the beginning. But it's by no means on its own in that. So I think with this would certainly be a game that would lend itself to some flipper fan calling kits, or which will be my choice on this will be the precision. At least the precision bushings and probably some precision flippers. The game doesn't always work as it should. It's prone to crashing sometimes. The volume levels all seem to be out of kilter. So there's a multi-ball which you get on here, which is the most easy multi-ball to get. David Bowie will start singing, and his song and his singing is far lower than the rest of the volume levels, and I don't seem to be able to adjust it. If you are able to adjust it, I'd certainly say that the menu system is in no way intuitive, and I haven't figured out how to do so. Having also been on pin side, I'm far from the only person that's having this problem. The ejects, the VUKs, the scoops, they either seem to be too powerful or not powerful enough. Trying to get the settings on here is a laborious task, and I've spent a lot of time doing so. There is an eject just to the right of the upper right ramp. Sometimes the ball can just get stuck there. It's trying to eject it out. It ejects it out, and it hits the guide, and then the guide pops it straight back in. So I've spent a long time trying to get that out of there. Another thing that happens all too frequently is the ball gets stuck. You would never want this game on location. The ball gets stuck in all manner of places. There are some wonderful sculpts on here. There are a lot of air balls, not a lot of air balls on this game, and the ball will just get stuck anywhere and everywhere, which will result in you having to take the glass off. I would think it would be a bit of a nightmare on location, actually, because I just think you'd constantly be being approached by somebody saying, "Excuse me, the ball's stuck." That I don't mind it. Let me say that in a home environment, I don't mind that. The ball does drain a lot, because one of the things that they didn't put on this game, which I know they fixed for June, is on the out lanes, there's no adjust on the post, so you can't close up the gap at all. And in many respects, it reminds me of Star Trek The Next Generation, which you have the lane extenders. Now, I'm actually going to hopefully be able to show you one here. Actually, I'm trying to take it off. I can't take it off. It's actually well stuck on there. I'll show you when I do the playfield tour. I've actually purchased some lane extenders for it. I got them off Etsy, actually, and I had to buy them in the States. So they are two pieces of plastic, two pieces of either moulded or printed plastic. They can't have cost more than $1 to produce. By the time I had to pay import tax, I've paid £50 for these two pieces of small plastic, which was painful to do. They've made a lot of difference. In fact, I would go as far as to say they've transformed the game for me. On the left-hand side is a post that blocks the out lane. Out of the box, it doesn't really work because, again, the ball can get trapped between the post for the out lane and this blocking post which rises up out of the playfield. This modification has fixed that completely. Now, clearly Barrels of Fun noticed after this game was produced that it was a problem, and they coded in a solution. So if the ball does drain down that out lane, you will get your ball back. And there's a lot of coded solutions in this game where you get your ball back. There is a shot, a middle shot, which is not always makeable. And I do believe that they've just made the game slightly too hard. That when the guides come down from the top, I will try and adjust that. That will be my next job, but there's been a lot of adjustment on this game. I'll have to try and move the guide so as it avoids the sling. The guide comes down, hits it onto the sling, and it's a sort of gives it, makes the game very, very random. So you're probably thinking, no more to say. What a stinker this game is. What a terrible, terrible pinball machine. No. Despite all of that, I have become addicted to this game. In fact, I would go as far as to say, I love this game. To go further than that, I'm pretty much playing this game exclusively at the moment. Because, even though I don't like the film, because of the pinball machine, I think I've sort of fallen in love with the characters. I've fallen in love with the Labyrinth. It's beautiful to look at. It won't be in any way striking on the camera. Why would it? This probably just looks like a brown powder coat. But it works. In fact, there's a lot of browns, a lot of oranges on here. But all I can say is the game itself is absolutely beautiful. The sculpts are wonderful. The lighting is magnificent. Once you have fixed those outlane drains, which this does, I no longer find the game difficult. I can have some tough games, but we're not looking at The Walking Dead here, where I'm having a game that lasts 2 minutes. I'll have a couple of games for the camera, and we'll do that shortly afterwards. And all I would say on that is, when I do that, I'm pretty sure I'll have at least a 5-minute game, maybe a 10-minute game on here. It's thoroughly enjoyable. Bigger than that, I think the game has got personality. It has got charm. And for all of its faults, this game has been made with a lot of love. There's been a lot of detail that's gone into this, and it's obvious that that's the case. Now, what I want to point out is this game, and by the way, this is pretty much the top version you're going to get, so we've got the alternative back glass on it. The other one is absolutely fine, but this is beautiful. It's sort of gold mirrored back glass. It's got the topper. For all I said about the topper, I can't do it, but I'm sure it is a relatively easy fix. I'm sure the mechanics haven't stopped working. I think it's something to do with the connections on the board. Whilst the sound levels are not quite right, the sound quality is decent. And when you start to look at the price and you look at how packed this is, with magnets and ball locks and diverters and mechanisms, you start to realise this is priced, in this country at least, this is pretty much the same price as a Stern Premium. You're getting more pinball machine for your money with this. It's relatively dimly lit, but again, that's no problem. I can turn the lights on. Something that Barrels of Fun have fixed immediately because they've got their internal lighting system, which they put on June, which is, well, they've routed it in to the side of the cabinet. The gameplay and the coding is quite addictive. There appear to be, unless I've got this wrong, in fact I'm looking at it now, there are 6 main modes. A mini wizard mode and a wizard mode. Well, that's okay because that's going to keep me interested. Then you have, you basically collect your friends, which then leads to friend multi-ball. So you do have little side missions as well. There are some neat little shots. I wouldn't call it, I guess many would call it a fan layout. I guess it is to an extent a fan layout, albeit with an upper flipper. But the upper flipper loop is makeable. In fact, not only is it makeable, it's enjoyable. The orbits are hittable. The ramps are tight, but that's what stops you really hitting it on the fly. But if you can trap up, you're going to go. You should be able to hit those ramps most of the time. And I wouldn't really say there's any particular mode that's just totally ramp heavy. Almost the modes all seem to require a series of shots, albeit in a different, not always in the same order. It is a mode-based game, but there's a simplicity to this game. And I like it. I gotta say, I really, really like it. And to such an extent, I'm thinking, well, I sort of missed out by not playing it earlier. But the reasons were good. Elton John is a magnificent game. Jaws is already one of my favourite games of all time. Jaws will never go. Pulp Fiction is an absolute triumph of a game. But as a modern pinball machine, this works. Even though it's an older theme. In many respects, I think possibly the theme lends itself to a pinball machine more than it lends itself to a film. And I do understand that might be sacrilege, because a lot of people love the film. I don't. By the time I watched it, as I mentioned earlier, I did feel it was quite dated. But this game has atmosphere. One of the things, I'll show you in a minute, it's got what I think is going to be Barrels of Fun signature feature, which is the screen lower down, like Circus Voltaire, the screen at the back of the playfield, which I really like. I don't really have much time during a game, I'm not a good enough player to constantly raise my eyes and look at this screen here. But the screen's fine, it's about the same size as a Stern Spike 2, which is more than adequate, that's fine. I do like on these speaker panels, I'll show you more closely in a minute, they are actually they're etched, a sort of laser cut out of the metal in a labyrinth. And if you've seen June, that's very much, they've done the pattern as the sandworm, as the mouth of the sandworm. It's charming. Now, it's probably too hard. My daughter thought it was magnificent, when she saw it. It's too hard for her to play, and she can play pinball. It's too hard for her to play. So this game is not for everyone. But whilst it is attractive, and people like it, and people look at it, and they think it's amazing, and whilst it is dimly lit for you playing it, the way the lights work in terms of guiding you through the game, the way the inserts work, and actually how pretty the game is and the lighting in it, is very, very good. I think the sculpts are wonderful. It looks like a world under glass. And I think less than 1,000 made. I do wonder if this game is going to stand the test of time quite well. I think as this goes on, perhaps like myself, people are going to gradually discover this game and start to appreciate it for what it can do rather than what it can't do, as I explained at the start of the video. There's very, very few games that I think, out the box don't have problems, because it's not easy to build a pinball machine. I think particularly when it's your first attempt at building a pinball machine, it's going to be tough. And as I mentioned, I think you'll find Barrels of Fun will have learned from this. But this is a good pinball machine. It's very well made. It's very robust. It's heavy. And in many respects, not quite at the level of Dutch pinball, not quite at the level of Big Lebowski, which still to this day is about as magnificently as I've seen a pinball machine made. But it's good. It's at JJP standard in terms of materials used and build quality. They've done a good job. And I'm now looking at these companies, and in particular, well, I've already mentioned two of them there, but I've looked at Dutch. I know Dutch have only made 2 games so far, which is obviously Big Lebowski and Alice, but there's another one on the way. And you're looking at what Spooky Pinball are doing. And you're looking at certainly JJP as well. And Harry Potter was a magnificent, magnificent game, as was Elton John. And then you look at quite possibly CGC are looking to do something else. They've obviously got Medieval Madness now. I don't know if we still use the name boutique pinball manufacturers. It almost seems a little insulting now. These companies are making good pinball machines. Really, really good pinball machines. Pinball machines that if you're looking at your next purchase, you're just not necessarily going to go and get the Stern anymore. There's real viable options, because I certainly felt for a while some of the boutique manufacturers, the quality was less. The quality wasn't as good. And I understand you might be looking at this video and listening and saying, well, hold on, you spent the first few minutes of this video telling me what was wrong with this game. And I was right. As I say, I would not put this game on location. There's a lot wrong with it. But I think they're learning. Let me just correct you on that. I think they've learnt. And I think June is going to be a level up on that. I would, if you're a type of person that doesn't like taking the glass out of a pinball machine, I wouldn't bother with this game, because you're going to have to. You really will. You're going to have to do that. There's going to be fixes. You're going to be find yourself going on the pin side thread to try and fix what's wrong. But if you can work your way through that, if you can accept that this is not a Steve Ritchie game, this is not a Flow Monster, you can accept that you've got yourself a tough pinball machine that you're going to have to make some tweaks to. And if you can work your way through that, then you're going to find that you've got a game that's very immersive, that has all the assets which, if you like the film, you're going to be used to and you're going to enjoy, which has a great soundtrack to accompany it, and which just has a ton of charm and some really neat pinball moments. Got to get that topper sorted out. I'm sure we will. But it's a great game. And anyway, I'm going to go and share some of that with you now. Hopefully you enjoy that. And I'm going to try and do it a little bit of justice by having a bit of half-decent gameplay. So, let's take a look at the game. So the first thing you're going to see is this fearsome twanger. What I would say is this twanger is a bit stiff. It's a bit not the easiest one to do the skill shot on, because there is a soft plunge. Now, I think it might have been easier if we didn't have this on here, but it's obviously an important part of the game. Hopefully you can see here, you know, some nice artwork on there. We'll take a look at the side as well. All looking pretty cool, huh? It's a nice game. It really is a lovely, lovely looking game. Before we go on to the playfield, let's do all the other stuff first. So, as I mentioned earlier, you can see there is a really nice speaker grills there in the pattern of a labyrinth, both sides. The glass is beautiful. Really, really nice. It's just stunning. It's really, really nicely done. I mean, there's lots of nice back glasses now, aren't there? But I prefer this, even though I like David Bowie. This one, just a little bit more fun, maybe. Concentrating more on Jim Henson's puppets. And if we look here, you'll get a closer look at them. Now, they're really good. It's a really cool topper. Let's get that right. It just... The dudes either side of the big one are meant to move. There's something, I don't know, something not quite right. Actually, I'm not sure how much their eyes are lighting up now. Their eyes light up different colours. No, there's something not right with it. Hopefully we'll get it sorted. The lights were lighting up, but the heads weren't turning, so we'll get it sorted at some point. But it's not the biggest issue for me at the moment, but I certainly think if you're going to, pay money for the topper, you want that to work, don't you? Right, let's take a closer look at the playfield, I think. So, this came with the art blades in it. I think that's pretty standard on this stuff, on the Barrels of Fun stuff. The apron, that's pretty cool. I like aprons now that don't have the instruction cards in them. That's absolutely fine for me. And you can see it's just really nicely done. So straight away here, you've got just this lovely sort of cobbled artwork there. You've got the wall around the labyrinth. Got Ludo. You can see him in the middle there. I don't know how well you can see Sir Didymus just underneath there. We've got a scoop shot, which is just here. It's okay. It's about as difficult as, I guess it's about as difficult as Godzilla, which I find quite hard. Now, what I want to do is just show you, this is what I'm talking about, one of the lane extenders. Hopefully you can see that there. So this red section that you can see under here, just here, that is a lane extender. That's made a lot of difference. Now if we go over to the other side of the game, hopefully you can also see that there. This is just offset ever so slightly. Sorry, I just knocked the camera in. It's just offset ever so slightly. That's because this post rises up and is meant to divert it into there. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. With this modification, it works all the time. So that's fixed the problem. As you can see, it's beautifully lit. Absolutely beautifully lit. Let's go a little bit closer here, shall we? So we've got an orbit with a spinner on the left-hand side. We've got a really nice ramp next to it. It's quite tough, but it raises up. So there's basically a drawbridge at the start of the ramp. So that first ramp does raise up. You've got, just behind that, you have an inner loop. And this inner loop, which you can see just here, this one here, you hit that from this flipper. And it works. The shot that's probably most difficult is this shot here. It's meant to be a little jump shot. Well, it is a little jump shot. It often rejects. I suspect that'll be fixed when I sort the flippers out. You've got this wonderful section here, which is, I think it looks really cool. There's a mechanism here. Ludo's under there. I don't know if you can see him. There he is. See that? Cool, hey? Really cool. It's beautiful. This is beautiful. And a real 3D effect to it. So I want you to look here. So you can see this section here. Then you've got the castle at the back. You've got the art blades. And then you've got all this stuff going on in the background on this back screen. I'll just turn the exposure down a bit so hopefully you can see it. I mean, that is really cool. Really, really cool. So it gives the game incredible depth. Then you factor in this sculpt here, which is the knockers. If you know that from the film. It's beautiful.
3 flippers, 3 balls. 3 goblins will take them all.
Really, really nice. I just want to show you here. You've got an inner loop, which hopefully you can see just there, and a drop target. That's where you get your extras. So you've got to hit that down. You've got to hit that in there. And you can get things like extra balls. That will give you little side missions to do, like hit 5 ramps, 50 spins of the spinner. Then you can achieve and get different bonuses from doing that, which is pretty cool. You've got the ramp, which you can see just there, centre of your screen now. Tough shot to hit. Then you have another orbit just to the right of it. Hopefully you can see that. Very hittable shot, that orbit. And you're going to need to hit that one a lot. Now, just here, you've got a shot which if you sneak it in there, you get the cup of tea. Basically, there's a sculpt that pops up out of there. There's another sculpt which pops up out the back. And there's also another sculpt down here, which hopefully you'll be able to see. There it is. You can just see it in there. Pops out of here. Keep an eye out for those in the gameplay. You've got a post which holds the ball in here, which is really cool. It's a simple game. It's a hard game, but it's a lot of fun. And hopefully I'm going to demonstrate that now. So hopefully you'll be able to see that I'm really enjoying playing it. I'm not sure you could even get any more of these. I think they meant to build 1,000. I think they, for one reason or another, they couldn't quite build 1,000. I'm not sure. You'll have to check out with Barrels of Fun themselves if there are any left. But it's a very, very good game. Really nice, beautifully built. Some flaws, some glitches, some things that need to be sorted out, some things that need to be fixed, some things that need to be coded out. But it's an enjoyable game. And what do we often say on this channel? Is it fun? Yes, this game is a lot of fun. Anyway, hopefully, despite my poor camera work, I've shown you enough of this game so as you've had a close look at it. So maybe if you are considering getting yourself one of these, just give you a good look around at everything. Give it a go. You're going to need to get out and play one on location if you're undecided. But don't be surprised if you get out on location that it's not working because the ball's stuck somewhere. Anyway, let's have a game. Okay, let's try and have a bit of a game on here. So I'm going to start with a soft plunge, which I managed. There's the worm skill shot. Found Ludo. Okay, so I almost started a mode there, but I'd like to get the Wiseman first, which I didn't do. I actually just started a mode. So shoot lit shots to progress the story. I think if they're flashing lit shots, they're worth more on this mode. So that upper loop I was talking about then, but then when I went for the second one, I said, as I mentioned, it's very hard to hit it off that upper. See, that was me trying to hit it again. Off that upper flipper, there's something not quite right there. Even then, it was hard to hit. So actually, accuracy, I was okay then. But it just doesn't, there's a lot of rejects on it. See, the magnet then just took it on a different path. I think it's really cool, the magnet in this game. Oh, it's going to give me a ball save. Very generous there. Probably didn't deserve one, actually. I actually got it then. That was that little ramp shot I was talking about. Whoa, did you see the magnet got it again then? Okay, so I've got it, the Wiseman there. So it wants me, your quest is to shoot 5 ramps. Oh, so you saw that was an air ball then. That was quite a big one. That does happen a lot. Again, there's another reject there. One thing I do like on here, you can get ball locks for multi-ball on several different shots. I'm actually going to cancel for a multi-ball here by holding the flippers to cancel that, because I don't want it yet. I want to build that up a little bit. Again, it's another nice little feature of the codes that I like. So I'm still in that same mode, just in case you're wondering. Oh, that was stupid. Oh, that was just stupid. You won't be able to see this, but the lights are lit up on the topper now. So, but it's not moving, as I said. So that was the knockers there. So that's lit, that insert. I didn't complete it, but I did participate in it. Ooh. So that's one ball locked, and I found Ludo. If you see, he's popped out from his hiding place there. Ooh. And now I can start another mode. I'm just going to get the second ball locked for multi-ball if I can. Oh dear, no, I lost the ball. Dear. Poor show there. So I don't really want to take the multi-ball yet, because I'm not in a mode. So start a mode first. That's what I was talking about, that guide there. I need to sort that out. Often it actually did it all right then, but it sometimes just throws it onto the sling. That starts a mode. 4 guards. This is a bit of a riddle. You've got to shoot the inner loops here, and then it will tell you what shots to hit. You've got to turn every shot the same colour, basically. But I don't know whether it wants me to turn every shot red or blue yet. But we'll find out if I can get up a loop. But the information when you need it will be on that back screen. Again, another reject on that shot. Deary me, I did see him pop out there. So, yeah, I mean, just not a very good game there. But I think you'll agree it wasn't a poor game. Oh, hold on. I've got another one. I obviously didn't count that correctly. Oh, I did I? Sorry, it was the end of the game. But I didn't miss out because the game was too brutal. I missed out because I didn't play well. That was my fault, not the game. Let's have another game.
Almost as hairy as Ludo. I bet their friends are all rocks too.
I'm not sure if it's the right strategy. I do try and start by, if I can, get one of those Wiseman. Oh no, I've got multi-ball lock there. It's alright, it's fine. If I can start a Wiseman quest to start off with, then you do feel you're a little bit on the way to an extra ball, maybe. But I'm still learning on this game. Got it in there, but it's a complete accident. Shoot 5 loops. So that's my quest on this one. So we got those the 4 guards as well. Again, I didn't need to miss that shot. That would have been a useful one to get.
Always what you see in this place. Sometimes away.
Oh yeah, I got it. Oh, damn. Again, I missed it. I'm just not doing very well. Again, reject on that same shot. I actually got it then, no rejects on that. That was cool. So you're going through this riddle when you're doing that. So it's saying shoot ramps, orbits, a toggle colour, make them blue. Okay, so it wants me to make them blue. So I've hit a red shot then. So to make them all blue, it's actually only needing the right orbit. Which I got. Right, so now I've got to shoot the right inner passage to try the door. Oh man, sorry, I've not nudged the camera then. Damn, I was quite close to doing that, I think.
Oh, that's the multi-ball music. I love multi-ball. The chaos, the panic.
Big air ball there, happens quite a lot, that one. What I would say is the game is relatively well built, so this is all pretty robust. It's not like you're getting air balls and you're going to smash all that stuff. Okay, I got a multi-ball, didn't really want the multi-ball. So basically, I've got the ball stuck behind these two posts here. You've got to hit that to try and free them. And then all the red shots will light again for the multi-ball, the jackpot shots. Oh, man. Okay. Well, still technically, I'm still in multi-ball. It's going to do a ball search now, because it doesn't know that the other one's stuck behind there. Oh man, I actually hit the Wiseman shot there, it just bounced it out. Got it, there you go. I deserve that.
I think that's your lot.
So next crest reward, extra ball lit. So again, you get the ball in this mode, you get the ball trapped behind there. There it is. Got the extra ball there. No, oh, I thought I did. Oh dear, that's not good. So it might try and offer me friend multi-ball now. I can cancel this if I want to. I'm gonna cancel it. I don't want it yet. That's a bit of a risk, but worth taking. So you see, it can be quite bricky. I mean, I don't know if you saw that, it actually jumped over the flippers, the ball. So, yeah, I mean, you know, as I say, it's not without its faults, this game. But I didn't get control of the ball, I didn't hit the shot, so it's punishing me for being absolutely inaccurate. Oh. What I would say is I'm not playing particularly well here. That's another Wiseman quest. I've got to shoot 10 targets. That's relatively easy to shoot 10 targets. Man.
Ooh, this adventurer is playing well.
That's enough.
Oh man, I keep missing that shot. There it is. Lucky I got the extra ball there. What I would say, I do think here you're seeing all of the worst and none of the best of the game at the moment, really. So I'm just not playing well. And ordinarily, I am better than this. And I'm not, as I say, I'm not a great player. Man, come on, give me that back.
I brought you a gift.
Oh, whoa, it's tough, it's tough. Whoa, okay, still got a ball save. Okay, if I can get it into that scoop now, I will get the friend multi-ball. Whew. Which is going to be useful now.
I'm Hoggle.
I, Sir Didymus, yield to thee.
Again, it's skipped over the flippers. Whoa, 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 that is... Oh man, that is really, really harsh. Really harsh. I was doing all right then as well. There you go.
That was pretty good. Yeah, I think Jack...
It's all right, honestly. I think I did all right. I like the game. I don't even think I've... Honestly, that's about... The most 2 games there is about as badly as I've played all week on this. But there you go. That is Labyrinth by Barrels of Fun. Certainly is a lot of fun.